Alright, back in here. It crashed. If I haven't cut out the crash, then good. I mean, not good. I should have cut out the crash. So, back in the Pthumerian Labyrinth, I was just saying that this looks like Elden Ring got a lot of inspiration from this Chalice dungeon. And then I was just wondering if this is like auto-generated because it's two lamps right in front of one another. It just seems very formulaic. Can we speed this up a little bit? Because I'm kind of getting the impression that these dungeons are just not quite as interesting as the regular game. Although, that one piece of clothing had mentioned that something about some kind of labyrinth being the true secret to the old ones. So I was wondering if perhaps perhaps this has some kind of deeper lore implication, even being mostly filler content, if it is in fact filler. Oh yeah. And there's that status effect. It looks like oil. I had thought that that rainbow looking pattern on the water looked like oil, and it seems to be true because when I walk in it, I get the oil status effect, which I'm guessing is what those guys were throwing at me, and I was wondering, like, what the heck did that do? Look, we're all thinking it. Sen's Fortress, but, you know, Sen's Fortress was not the first place in history to have the ridiculous axe pendulums. I kind of get the impression that I was expected to proceed here much earlier. Perhaps right when I got the what is it called? The Pthumeru, whatever chalice. Yeah, thanks for that. Spank me, daddy. Oh, yeah, how will I ever get past these boxes? Oh, yeah. Little did I know at the time that those are being summoned over and over again. Yeah, apparently red hollows are summoned creatures. Yeah, I completely missed that there were two ways out of this room, so I'll check that out later on. I'm like, what the heck keeps getting hit by these axes? Uh, okay, I think we could probably speed this process up a little bit, maybe, in editing. Realistically, if I had all the time in the world, these videos would be a lot shorter. Just trying to create some space between me and them. And then I heard the bell, so I'm wondering about what's going on with that. It hasn't quite clicked yet. But then I see that guy, and I'm like, wait. Another one? There it is. And aw, hell no. Alright, maybe we can't just run past these guys. Alright, that has seemed to get the mob under control. Now to deal with this guy in the fog. Yeah, that one. No, he doesn't want to come down. Again, I'm not a fan of any enemy that has infinite projectiles. So this, at least, there's like a pillar I can get put between him and me. I was trying not to grab the attention of this large person. Trying to do a charge attack on his back, but couldn't quite make it work. But jeez, that was way more effective than I expected it to be. In reality, I think that handle would be far too high for me to have enough mechanical advantage on it for it to be easy to move. He's a little bit late to the party, but we can accommodate everyone. Yeah, now you see the extra passage. This passage. I also dislike the idea that you can be locked onto a guy and throw something at that person, at your target, and just miss. Why did he miss? He can throw that far. The only reason why I'm using the lock on is because I can't aim with the right stick. It doesn't let you aim with the right stick. So it's just a limitation of the controls that can't precisely aim, which is the only reason why we rely on the lock-on. If you don't want to let your player use a lock-on, you should let your player free aim, but you can't do that in these games because the camera doesn't, or rather the player won't face the direction the camera is facing at all times, which is a little bit ridiculous. Like third-person shooters, they let you free aim with the camera, and they let the person be in third person, and it works very nicely. And there are like mods for these games to make it work that way, but because they're not designed to be like that, it's a little bit janky. It would just be nice to maybe toggle free aim. If you could toggle free aim, then people who are not used to having that kind of precise control wouldn't need it, and people who are used to it would be really great at these sorts of games. I guess I dislike any kind of challenge that is introduced because of the limitation of the controls. Or if it's a challenge because of the limitation of the technology or something like that. I don't find it interesting. The Undead Giant. Hey. Since I'm not playing, I can actually read the name. This poor guy had his hands replaced with hooks. Who did that to you? Who put candles on your back? Who put stakes through you? We could team up and get back at them. At least they could have faced the hooks the proper way. He's just like, he's just hemorrhaging blood constantly. It's actually kind of sad. And considering just how many hits I've just completely face tanked in this, probably have a little bit more health and do a little bit more damage than was expected for the player at this point. But I'm not complaining. I like easy games. They should really say, at least for me, Prey survived. Because I really just survived. I don't feel like I don't feel as though I committed slaughter. I more like survived by the skin of my teeth. If my teeth had skin. And an identical door. Superb. This really gives me the Elden Ring dungeon vibes. I think perhaps these games were made with a similar made with a like from like-minded developers. Although I do actually really enjoy the Elden Ring dungeons, specifically because there are only maybe a few different kinds of dungeons overall, but then from that point on, like once you have experienced all of the basic Elden Ring dungeon designs, they're all just like iterations on a concept, which I think is a very interesting idea. Like, they're not supposed to be something that's totally new every time. It's supposed to be, you know, here's the same boss, but what if you had the same boss and this add? Or what if you had two of this boss? Or what if you had this boss and now instead of fire, it's ice? Or now instead of ice, it's magic? And so it's like iterations on a concept, rather than which one should we go with? Let's just do both of them back to back. Let's do all of the iterations. Let's do all of the versions of the same dungeon. Oh, my headphones are dying. Hopefully you can't hear that. Mostly because it's a really irritating noise. Yeah, but I like the Elden Ring dungeon philosophy, that it's the idea is not, or rather you shouldn't think of it as, oh, you're just reusing content. It's like, no. It's using all of the versions of the content. And you don't really get anything, or you don't get a lot from playing those dungeons. If you're sick of the concept, really I would highly recommend just look up what dungeon has what items. Like if you're looking for a particular item, just do the ones that you want to do. I really wonder if this was auto-generated though, because of just like the stark contrast. Like the previous room is just so ornate, and then here it's like, did they forget to give their interior decorator the key to this room? Like, what's going on here? Like the last room was great. Yeah. What am I doing walking onto him? Just ignore that guy. And there's no lever here. Where is my lever? Where has my lever gone? I did not see him at all. I thought that white mist in the air was a phantom. Even though I am playing offline, I thought it was a phantom. Yeah, there's your lever. There's a guy guarding it. That was a very liberal interpretation of that hitbox. I am almost out of blood vials. And by almost, I mean I'm almost out of health, and I'm completely out of blood vials. Yeah, I don't think it dawned on me in time that I had no more blood vials, and so I tried to heal when I should have tried to run. There is kind of an issue that I have with the blood vial system, or healing with consumables, which is if you don't use your consumables that often, they're functionally infinite. I mean, yeah, there's the limitation that you only have 20 of them until you rest. But why doesn't it just fill up your 20 vials when you rest? Why do you have to collect them out in the world? You could literally just have them sort of refill as you go, but then whenever you rest, you just get your full 20 back. I think that would be a better system, because the only reason why you wouldn't go into a fight, or you wouldn't leave a lantern with all 20 of them, is if you just don't feel like basically grinding vials all the time. I guess they just really I guess on the other hand, it does reward players for not taking damage or not having to heal as much as possible. Just as much as possible. If you don't have to use your blood vials, that's a good thing. If you do have to use your blood vials all the time, if you're constantly using up all 20 of them, you're eventually gonna be well, you're gonna have to adapt. You will either have to learn to survive without them, in which case you'll end up with a whole bunch of extra blood vials, or you're just gonna end up fighting the same enemies over and over and over again to keep collecting blood vials. And, well, I suppose then you will eventually stop taking so much damage, and then the game will rebalance itself. So yeah, I suppose it works. It's valid. What the heck? There's 3 of them? I say as if I've never seen this before. As if I didn't play this. I will say though, it's been long enough that I have completely I forget what's coming next. Yeah, don't like him. He's taken 3, 4 shots now. 5 shots. I just want to get one of these guys down, because 3 is too many. I really wanted that visceral. It's fine. It's like 15 shots now that he's done. I don't know if I can, what is it called? I don't know if I can proc a visceral with when somebody's firing their blunderbuss at me. Pthumeru Chalice. I wonder if that unlocks another one of the gravestones, the Chalice gravestones. Pthumeru. I think that's what it was called. But yeah, I did not learn that fight whatsoever. I would have preferred to fight those guys with maybe 2 other NPC friends. Yeah. Not interested a whole lot in going 3-on-1 in a fair fight. Or rather, if they're gonna go 3-on-1 against me, I'm using anything I can to rebalance the odds. Yeah, I thought we had Pthumeru Root Chalice. I thought that's what it said we got from there. But maybe it just is unlocking layer 3 of that same dungeon. Or maybe it unlocks the next headstone. I'm not sure. Yep, nothing new there. So, yeah, I guess we're going on to something else.